Okay, so this week was just absolute bombshell stuff. Huge move up in gold, silver, miners. Yes, quite a few assets went up, but really we took the cake. The miners in particular, silver outperforming gold, the juniors, the little aggressive miners outperforming the seniors, but all of them just huge moves, like almost 20% in the week. GDXJ also making new 52-week highs. SILJ is not far behind. Obviously, silver hasn't done it yet. It needs to take out 32.50. We'll take a look at all that. The dollar going down. And to be honest, the US dollar Japanese yen is lower than it was during the carry trade. Is this system breaking stuff? We have next week the Fed. I think a lot of people are pricing in between 25 and 50 basis point. I think some people think it's going to be 50. By the way, what happens if it's 25? Because there is going to be a cut, and cutting with markets at all-time highs, just that's I don't think that's ever been done before. Gold at all-time highs. This is, there's some, it's a first. And by the way, what happens if the Fed disappoints and the market goes down? Do we give back some of those gains in the metals? It's just me trying to be aggressive, but I got that wrong on the last time. I thought I'd sell, it goes down. It did go down, but then I don't know what the hell happened, but we just went up. PPI, I mean, I can imagine PPI not having such a strong response. I think it's all because of this Fed. So let's see, really think about it. Maybe we do give back a lot, maybe not all of it if the Fed disappoints middle of next week. So, but anyway, whatever. We had a huge move up, and we're going to take a look at that. So dollar Japanese yen, just keep your eye on the US dollar Japanese yen. Look at this, a close below 140. Then what? You have this long-term support kind of just below 140. But that's, we're taking out the low from down here. That could cause some havoc. And that could get a few central banks to want to cut also. Let's see. But that's something I don't really want to ignore. DXY, they look at that, just horrible stuff. All the way down, triple bottom, which really holds. You flush that, you're at the 99 point sort of 6-ish low that we hit last time. And then down you go to the mid 90s to low 90s, just in time for Trump. Really impressive stuff. Everything's really worth paying attention to. The markets, this is one thing I don't like. We're going to take a look at GDXJ. In fact, let's look at GDX now, right? Just to compare. Yes, we're outperforming. This is amazing. We're going to take a look at this. But the S&P is also at all-time highs, about to make all-time highs, which means we're in line with the market. And that looks very strong, by the way. Higher highs, higher lows, consolidating, waiting for a nice break. Look at that. A little sideways up just in time for Wednesday. But if it disappoints down, and if we start to take out, close below this after some Fed, if you close below 540 on the S&P and whatever the equivalent is on the others, after a Fed decision, then you probably, then you're going to go back down to these lows. But what happens to the GDX and gold and silver? Well, they probably go down too. They might outperform, but I don't know if I want to try this again. Initially it was correct. I got the GDX move going down, but this PPI response really got me. All right. Anyway, markets are strong. That's the point. Bonds, just like the dollar, are very weak. Sorry, I mean the yield's very weak. The bond's actually strong, of course. Look at that, just hanging down. The 2-year, just below this. Actually, there is that one last line, fair enough, but that's just ready to go. Look at that. That's just ready to go. Look at that. Bam, all the way back down to sort of here. Bonds are about to have a nice move up. Yields a big move down. So it's all about Wednesday, all about Wednesday. Yields and the dollar doing the same thing. The markets and the miners doing the same thing, but the miners, gold, silver miners, really good. Look at gold, just incredible breakout to new highs, just constant new highs, right? Just constantly invincible. Look at that, 2560, 80, basically going to touch 2600. If Wednesday is favorable to the metals, 2600, we're going to close above that. Then it's just a slow march to 3000. I don't know what else to say. There is no number. There's not even much point in covering this chart. It's just up. If we go down, then the last new all-time high horizontal breakout becomes support. So, and After that, it's just got more and more ascending trend lines you can add. It's just incredible. Silver, honestly, gold, I can cover it in like 30 seconds. Silver, look at that. We haven't made new all-time highs, of course. We've got this descending, right? We're popping, it is resistance, and you can see just on that Friday, pop our head above, close within. So if gold starts to test or make new highs, we're going to be testing 3150. And if we start to keep going, and silver could start having its own momentum at this point, 3250. It really is those two levels. Boom, boom. And here you're going to have some miners really move. They already have, of course. That's what I've got on the way down here. And then it's going to be just above this low because it's very bullish. Boom, boom, something like that. You know what I mean? And I don't see us going lower. So here I was before thinking, yeah, got this little move down. We're gonna go lower. I added very little to my miners. I was sort of gambling for a bigger move down. It reversed. I mean I sold like actually on Friday I sold a bit, but very little, you know, because I already sold. Well, I'm talking about the miners. Let's move to the miners. Right, GDXJ. Look at this, you know, in 3 days, I mean, the whole week is just pretty much from there to there, 15%. You know, I was happy here. I was thinking, we got a bit of a bounce. I think I even covered it. It got this ascending. And I don't know if it was the ascending or just a coincidence of events, but from there, and now look at this. This is where it gets weird. I mean, you can have a big move up, you know, but you normally stop off here, but then just this. And actually, this is perfect technicals. You know, look at this. The low of days is this horizontal support all the way up till the descending, then gaps open, low of days, the horizontal, high of days, this horizontal. This is perfect technicals, but extremely strong. It's not supposed to happen. Extremely strong. Next move up takes us to here, 50, big number. Also prior resistance. So let's make the next one there. And then after that is the high. Keep it simple, 52. Right? Let's get rid of this old stuff. But that's pretty much it for GDXJ. After that, you know what? We probably have to consider after that because we've seen such huge moves. 52 is 5%. You could do that in one good day. It's incredible. It's probably going to be here, isn't it? 54. But let's just get a bit aggressive and put the absolute peak. 55 point something. I think 54 is also a bit of a level. You can see it there. You know, I'll even stretch it from there. There, that's what I've got on the way up. I think that'll do. Let's keep calm. Let's go on SILJ. This is the one that really had a nice move. Hasn't made new all-time highs because of silver. So we've got, and again, on the ascending, I mean, I didn't buy enough. I was buying like a little bit of First Majestic, but not much. CDE, I bought a little bit because it came down a lot. What else silver-wise? Pan America, such small amounts. Oh my God, I could have put so much more in. Anyway, up we went. The descending comes in. That's silver. That's general GDX stuff. And here we've closed above resistance, in my opinion. Next stop is how much is this to the highs, where basically the other ETFs have made it already, not even 5%. So obviously next resistance is going to be here. We need silver to go up. After this, yeah, pretty much a big move up to 15 and 1550, something like that. Let me think about that. Probably here first, just to be completely sure. And that's how much of a move from where it is now. Okay, that's pretty big. There you need silver at 32.50 and maybe even new highs. And then finally you get this, but you're going to have some silver stock. And we're going to go over some of them, just huge moves. So this one should be pretty easy. This one, I don't know, that's really the peak. It's probably going to fall in between, but it is what it is. So let's look at GDX because I'm not even covering support. GDX. Yeah, well, here I was covering support, but I didn't buy enough. I mean, look at that. Now it looks obvious, doesn't it? But I thought it could come down more. I knew this was support. I mean, I have the ascending. It's the main one, the closest one, but it just bounced from there. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 GDX. And look at that close, new all-time highs. Yeah, so next stop, I'm gonna have to do it this way. Let's do it this way, really nail it. Yes, of course, the high over here, so 41, let's call it, go on, 59 or something. I should really put it there to be sure, just what's the difference between 41.59 and 41.82? Nothing, but imagine it stops off just before the first one and you want to trim, although we shouldn't be in a hurry to trim as I have been. Next one, 43, 43.50. Go on, let's get aggressive. I'd say 43.50. Doesn't really matter. And the one after that there. Yeah, and how much of a move is that from where we are now? This is 3-4%, like I've done on Monday, but even pre-market. That will take maybe the Fed decision and then a continuation. Remember, it's always one day after the Fed, maybe even two. Like that weekly close next week is going to be extraordinarily important. Let's reset the chart and get some perspective. Yes, it looks like a big move, but we've still got double that almost to go until we're at the old 2011 highs. And you can tell, I mean, you've got stocks like Newmont that have to make that kind of a move too, double basically. So this would be extremely bullish, extremely doable, and we have all the stars aligning. Let's look at the actual portfolio. So Newmont, which looks just like GDX there, you can see it's about to reach, and actually it's outperforming. And that makes sense because it's had good news for some time. So look at this, just super strong off the ascending. I can even delete all this stuff, to be honest. So next stop is going to be, I'll do it later. Next stop is going to be up here, 55, big number, very close. Look at that. It did close off its highs a bit more than the others, but fair enough. It's been on a storm for a while. Yeah, this is a big one, I reckon. You can tell why, right? I mean, the last time we got here, let's call it 55 point something. That's the highest we've been in. Since then, it's just been going down, down, down to under 30 even, where we hit the lows. Once we venture above 55, 56, 55, we are in no man. We've not been here. So it's quite hard to tell where support and resistance really is. Yeah, you could pick up some little gap levels. 57. I can't believe we're starting to look at this zone now. Thought it was off limits. So once you close above 55, right, that's the obvious first step. This one here, this little X. Then maybe a stop off point here, but I would not be in a hurry to trim. I think you're gonna have to start looking at GDX at that point because this will just be on a tear. It's got good news behind it. It's probably gonna be just, I mean, what can I pick out? Maybe something like this. Maybe we want to force it. Let's leave it like that for now. And even this one's a bit of a 50-50. There's only one real resistance, is this 55. It seems already strong so far since we closed off the lows by quite a bit on that Friday. But once we take this out, honestly, you shouldn't be in a hurry to sell. Let's keep it simple. Barrick Gold. Oof, another one that gave up a lot. That's done quite well recently, and we just closed above this. It might not be the best candle, but we did close above this 2080 high for the first time. After this, honestly, you shouldn't be in a hurry either. Just let it do its. Oh, that's quite a lot though, isn't it? But still, we've taken out the descending, haven't we? I remember that. We took that out ages ago. Oh, yeah, I mean, essentially maybe 23, but you should be going to the 23s. I'm going to leave it like that. I mean, I've already made the mistake of trimming. Well, it wasn't really a mistake. Now it's obvious that it was a mistake, but I've trimmed enough where we are. I mean, we've been here, right? I've trimmed this area. There's no point in me trimming again, and that's why I haven't. I've trimmed a few, but very lightly. So this area, like I've sold this area. I don't need to sell it again. Unless you buy down here, then you can sell again. And that's typically what I do. But I'm just going to let it ride. So here, I'll be watching GDX, I'll be watching gold, even silver in case I think there's an early drop coming. But I think I may trim a little bit there and then a little bit there, but not before. Agnico, yeah, popped his head above. Didn't make a new all-time high close, or was off by just a bit. But unlike Newmont and Barrick, it's actually at 2011 highs, and we've tested it already. So in this area, I've already sold because we've been there. I already sold this move up, generally speaking, across the board. So next one is 88. There you go. And then after that, no idea. So I'll probably do one last sell on Agnico. I've already sold this area, weeks ago. One more sell just below 88 or something, maybe a bit higher, just below 89. And then just leave it, and just judge it on GDX if I really think a drop's coming, or some, I don't know, piece in Ukraine, or whatever might send gold down a substantial amount worth trading. So just one last sell in Agnico, and then I'm leaving it. Pan America, that one closed above the descending, unlike some other silver stories. Like silver hasn't done it. SILJ, did it? I think it did do it. But that's good. Pan America is still underperforming though. I think it should be around here, like 23. So this one, not selling, already sold enough. Bought back a tiny amount. My God, it should have been way more. How much of a move until we get up? 3% there. This is a big move. That's a very good day's move. Fed move would take us back to the old highs. But by then, you've probably got silver testing 32.50. If you're at 32.50, it doesn't matter what's going on. Pan America is at new 52-week highs. So this one I would just leave. I think it's got a lot of catching up to do. I wouldn't be selling it too early. I think those two levels, you could take nibbles and then you let it run. Yeah, then you got here 26. And then something crazy is going on, and then you might as well go for the big 30 number. If you really want nibble, 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 nibble. So what's that? That's 23, 24, 26, 30. That's Pan American Silver. Wheaton, that's nice. That's really nice. Higher lows, well, just about higher highs consolidation, but new all-time high close, touch the old high. This is still resistance, still got to close above the 63, but we've made new all-time highs. There is no other high to really consider. Maybe even this has been breached. Again, I would leave it. I'm not going to bother with, Fibonacci extensions and all this stuff. I would just let it ride, watch GDX, watch gold. Don't be in a hurry. The royalties are really, I've got my little seniors, but I've got only one or two. Metallic doesn't really count. Franco-Nevada and Wheaton are my two main senior royalties, and I don't really want to sell too much of them. So, because it's a good business for the long term. So Wheaton probably, I wouldn't even trim this because I think I've trimmed 63 already, or at least the test of 63 since it's been there already. So Wheaton, just let it go, let it go, let the bird fly. Metalla, this one, I think I covered the fact that it breached, which is beautiful. Then we got this continuation, gave back a lot. That was a bit disappointing. I mean, I understand it's been like relatively strong for some time, but still it could have closed a little higher, I thought. For me, I'm not selling. I think I sold a tiny bit. I think I sold this 329. On Friday, I was just trimming some of them because Metalla's been really weak. I think Metalla, I decided because it's just had a decent run for Metalla. So I trimmed that one. So I'm not selling this one until 350. I still have to see if 350 is worth it, because if it's a 350, maybe everything's just storming up and maybe it's the start of a great big breakout. And to be honest, Metalla, you can do better than 350, even 330 that I've already done. So 350 could be another tiny nibble, but I'm really looking for a decent sell at 4, and I still think 4 is not asking too much. So I'm leaving 330 because it's done. 354. First Majestic, now we're hitting the silver boys. Now this one, which looked horrible, and then buyback was announced, up, up, up. Plus you've got what's going on with the general sector after PPI. And this thing just went straight through all the resistance. I love it when it does that. I love it when my resistance is just completely wrong because it's just so strong on the upside. It's just very nice. I don't even think it's that wrong, actually. This one might have been a bit wrong. Right, support, it may have counted before, but that one doesn't count anymore, that's for sure. This one, for example, is correct, but there we go. The whole sector keeps going up, so up it goes. Resistance, I mean, this one I still agree with. It's the old horizontal high, and to be honest, it might take 1 or 2 days, even good days, to get there. So that's why it's to the right. I think that makes sense. Yeah, resistance I've got here, just below 630. I got there, just below 690. And then after that, we're probably going to keep going for another couple of percentage points. We'll leave it there. I'll just leave these two for now. I don't mind if it keeps going. I do think this one won't count though. Once you take out this one here, you're going to keep going. Maybe there's something like 7. It's hard to tell, actually. Hard to tell. But extremely good because here you've got a double bottom, higher low, right? This higher low compared to here. And now we've got a higher high compared to this level, you know, with where we are now. So higher low, higher high, good news. Plus silver is really on a rampage. This is so underpriced. This thing could just keep going. Like, yeah, 690 is just doable next week for sure. The Fed could rain on that parade, but otherwise, there's not much reason to see this drop too much because this is a dip buyer completely. So if there is a drop, even if it's Fed induced, it's a dip buying candidate. Next one, where would I dip buy? I haven't really covered the dip buying. I'm just all looking at the upside. It's going to be the usual, the horizontals, the descending test, retest, that kind of stuff. I want to try and run through this quite quickly on the upside. Fortuna, look at that close a high of day. Close just near resistance. $5 is resistance, obviously. So if you want to sell it, sell 498 or 499 to make sure you get it. Another one that came down, higher low double bottom. I was going to say higher high, I didn't do it yet, but that is a much better close than all of those. Come Monday, we probably gap open. It's like it didn't finish doing what it was going to do. Then after that, normally I'd be like, oh, 511, but this is just strength with all the reasons behind it. So up we go to 540. 540 is the next level. So 540, and after that, look at this vacuum you play in. Then it's going to be the gap fill at 580. And then it'll be the old high. And to be honest, it could actually do it. I'd look at this chart normally a few weeks ago and say, no, that would take so much. But we know that all it takes is a couple of Fed data releases or a couple of words, and you've just got gold and silver squeezing. And you could have Fortuna go from basically 5 to 650 pretty damn quickly. How much of a move is that? 20. See, it sounds like a lot, right? Sounds like a lot, but let's go to our next, my favorite, CDE. You think 30% is a lot? Look at this monster. It did 40% in 3 days. 3 days, 40%. Just out of this world. Again, higher. I don't care about the support. We're not going down there anymore anyway. Higher low, higher high. And we're near. I'll just delete this. Higher high, and also higher high is actually where resistance is. Let me just leave that there. Beautiful. Plus, we just closed way above the old 52-week high. I said 750 is resistance, and it is. It's 7. Actually, let's look at it now that it's a bit more serious. You've got this low down here, which is 745-ish, that high there. But it's also here. So I feel like it's 760 really. But you could also make a case for 740. But anyway, we put in a high on Friday, so that Friday high, which is 730, is also resistance. I think it can do a bit more, even if there's red stuff on Monday. Probably got a little 4 or 5% still. So that's one pretty decent day's move to get to this high, whatever it is, 760-ish. Just follow silver for CD at this point. But yeah, you got this last little one, and after that, I don't really see any horizontal until like this level. Otherwise, we are encountering the descending for the first time in a long time. Look at that up there, and then a bit more, probably $9 by the time we get there. If you consider the the amount of days it might take, and even then, it's just got so much upside. Look, I don't want to zoom out and think that and have you believe we can make it all the way up to here and all that. There's a lot of dilution. There's a lot of justified reasons for this one being down. And I don't exactly know too much about the company as much as others, but I know that regardless, it's got good news. By the way, this has also had some good news. Some, what is it, Rochester or something? This had some good news behind it. So you've got silver going up, good news behind it. It's underpriced. It's one of the best go-to stocks. Always very favorable when silver's up. So for me, this going to 9 is really almost guaranteed if silver is favorable. So, and after that, you can have a little retrace and then back up. But this one, I've got 2 levels I'm really watching. You've got this level here, and then you've got this level here. And this will take probably weeks to get to, but that would ultimately come next. That CD, just so good. Hecla. I mean, I think I prefer CD, but Hecla really is the runner-up. This one also did nice percentage gains. It won't beat CD. It probably never will on a big, strong day, but I mean, I've been buying this one. I'm so in the green. This is the last silver stock that I added, and I'm just so in the black already. And yeah, traded it quite well. And it's worth as much as the others. And here, look at this, 52-week highs. Next stop, 7. Wow, we were just at like mid-4s. $7. After that, yeah, this high is 740. That's not asking too much. After that, 770. Still not asking too much after that. 850-ish. Just make it 840. And then the old high at 950. Yeah. Support would just be the horizontals on the way down. I haven't really discussed support. I don't know if there's much point. That's way too steep. I'll leave it anyway. Very good. Let's just see what it can do. And you know, you could have this sort of retracement move Monday. So if you want to buy back, you can. Not just Hecla, all of them. Just look at the last horizontal that it took out. I mean, that's really your go-to. I think these are all buy the dip candidates, though. Still, what does the Fed say, you know, on Wednesday? What if they say something that disappoints and you start to get this huge market reversal, giving back everything, and then you think, I could have easily traded that a bit. And that's the question I've got to ask myself. Is it worth gambling a little bit and just, or maybe waiting for the reaction, listening to it? Maybe you'll sell a bit later than the high frequency people, but you're probably going to get an extended move. So imagine he says we're going to do 25 basis points and then the whole market drops. You could still trim a little bit, sell a little bit, because it'll probably continue for a few days. I don't know. Anyway, that's not really specific to Hecla. So yeah, those are the levels on the way up. EXK remind me so much of each other. EXK, Fortuna, and First Majestic. First Majestic, though, has got good news. So that one's gonna look a little different, a little bullish compared to EXK and Fortuna. But those two, despite the real strength we've seen, this is still a decent move. It doesn't look strong, but you know, 30%. You know, that beats Hecla, and Hecla looks really good and is good. Hecla is really nice. How much we move from down? Let's do the weekly candle. Hecla's weekly candle, basically open at low of day, close at high of day. Yeah, 25%. EXK doesn't look anywhere near as good, but let it not fool you, 30%. EXK outperforms Hecla. So anyway, I think you get used to that kind of logic when you're looking at depressed, smaller numbers. But so we've got 380 and we've tested that already. And I don't know if I sold that. Maybe I had a good till canceling. That's why you can see it was the high of day on that day. So that, and plus it's too much of a move up there, even despite the good news, because it's had despite silver and gold's big move up, because you've had bad news in the stock. And I like to use opportunities like this, you know, whilst everyone's celebrating, to just trim a little bit of the bad. This is a bad stock now, you know, it had bad news. So yes, it's capable of going up. And this is the only thing that can send it up, like good general sector news. But maybe it's worth selling it. And then if the market drops, buy something better, like, you know, Hecla, CDE, Agnico or something. So 380, I need to see if I sold that. If I did, cool. If I didn't, maybe it's something I can do for Monday. Just a little trim. Next stop 420, right? You can see why. Resistance, support, nothing really at 4 anyway. After that, it's probably going to be exhausted if it's able to go back up here. I'd probably be selling quite a lot, actually. I'm going to put this in because we need to remember why we're selling it, because it had bad news. Unless something's changed, or maybe the silver price going up just makes this all of a sudden extremely profitable. The margin sort of multiplies by extraordinary amounts. But otherwise, I'm going to put all those as levels. I don't need to really mark them all as yellow, but it's obvious. There you go. 5, 480, 460, 420. Let's see if we can even get to 420 next week. Otherwise, buy the drop. I don't know if I'd buy this one. I'd probably look at others first. Haven't really covered support the way I should have. All right, next is Max Silver. Wow. Close at high of day. That's really one of the best ones in terms of closing at high of day. Took out the old 52-week high of 1430. That's beautiful. Maybe I had a good to cancel selling. I mean, I left a lot of them in. It's just some sort of habit I do. 1 or 2 cents off the old high. So that probably triggered a small sell, a little nibble. Next stop, and also this had good news, so it never really made lows like Fortuna, like EXK. So, you know, I've hated this one for ages since it just kept on going down, down, down. But since the pop, and the pop wasn't that good compared to the others, like EXK. Look at that. That's the goddamn pop. That's a pop. But anyway, it kind of held quite well. No bad news. Next stop. So 1430 is done. 15, big number here. No, I actually would go for 1580. And I don't even know if it's such a big move, this move to 15 from where we are now. You know, no, it's not. 3%. Sorry, you can do that pre-market. I'm looking for that 9, 10% Fed, you know, run up to Fed or post-Fed move. But I'm looking for that and then that. Yeah, I agree with that. Mag Silver can move a bit more for me. And then we'll see. Then it'll be something like here, 1850. Yeah. No point in putting these now, but I'll do it anyway. Etc. etc. Let's see. Right. Aris Mining. And I actually heard about this one. I always feel like no one follows this one, but I saw it the other day. What's that guy's name? Franco Guccian or something. Really well-known guy. Forgot his name. Italian guy, obviously, who's like a shareholder or on the board or something of this one. I thought, oh, that's cool because that guy knows his stuff. I think I really have a good mind here, guys, in case you don't know it. I mean, it's a bit late and we've seen moves everywhere, but this one's good. And I think the move, it's been doing higher highs, higher lows, despite the turmoil, it's been holding off really well. Look at this high. This is the best high of day. It closes at high of day, above 5, clears all resistance. This is the last resistance before literally runaway train stuff. I don't see any resistance until maybe 6, you could say there and there, but these are huge moves. Really big moves, and you've got all the stars and catalysts behind you. So this one is good. Look at this move. 22%, beautiful. Right, next one. Okay, next one is I Am Gold. Now, this one has been an absolute monster, retraced not even to the first support. Now, in 3 days, that's moved up also. Maybe not as dramatically as some of the others because it's already had a big move. Yeah, 15%, not even, didn't close at high of day, but still above its resistance. Next stop. Next stop. Well, $6, definitely, maybe a bit higher. Maybe we can get to 616 or something. Let's just say $6. Let's be a bit conservative. After that, 6. I'll have to move it up. probably 630. It's probably 630 and 650. But I've already trimmed that position, so I have not sold any of that on it. I mean, I sold this move up here. I forgot where, but I sold it above 5. So I didn't sell anything on the way back up there this week. So I'm looking for a $6. And even at 6, I don't think I'll be nibbling, because this one, the one thing I do know about it is that it's very leveraged to the price of gold. So gold's been moving up crazy. So this one should really keep squeezing with gold and even catch up. So this one's 630, 650, and then we'll see. Well, then it's 725. So, but very strong still. Maybe it hasn't outperformed the others, but still very strong. B2 gold, talking about strong and making new highs. Bam, look at this one. It would have been good if it closed above 320. Yeah, this is definitely going to happen. So this one, next stop, I still consider this as having done pretty much a 328, popped its head above, didn't close above. Next stop is going to be, it's really 340 for me. Like, yes, the descending is maybe a little lower, 330 something, but the horizontal is so close that it might as well be the horizontal. So 340, and remember what it means to close above 340. It means squeeze time. You know, this is a bit like Metalla Metalla's just done its squeeze. Let's go back to Metalla just to show you. You know, it's already done this descending that lasts a similar type of period. This is like a medium to long-term descending breakout. Look at that squeeze, just one entire candle plus some follow through. Yes, it coincided with the PPI aftershocks, but still B2 gold has the same sort of squeeze potential at 340. So 340 is the next one, then 380. I don't see 4 at all as resistance. Then it's probably going to be 430 to 440 or something. So this really good. This have not trimmed, I don't think, even 340, because it's making new highs. So yes, this is resistance, but we've just proved that it's a bit different this time because we're making new highs. So I think I don't even think I'd sell 340. I think I'd just go for the bigger move, because again, long term. And remember, good news also this week, just to coincide, a deal with the Mali government. Whether it works or not long term, that's something else. Whether you can trust them for long term to allow you to continue operations is a different story. It'll do for now, and with the gold price going where it is, this should have some continuation in terms of squeeze. So I like this one for a move to basically $4. Next one would be, let me just add these in. Next one would be Equinox. Look at these candles. They're all so similar. Massive move. How much of a percentage point is that this week? Actually, I say only 20%. That's pretty good for a week. So here, obviously, we took out the descending. That's the most important. Went straight through it, didn't care. And the horizontal, straight through, didn't care. And the next one, that was quite surprising. Closed above it. Friday, ran out of steam a little bit. But that doesn't mean it's not going to continue up next week. So we're probably going to test 650 before the Fed decision. And if the Fed, and this applies to all of them, if the Fed decision is favorable, then I don't really see 7 as much resistance, but it is a level. So I'll mark it anyway. 750, nice round numbers, plus it's a bit of a gap fill. And then a massive move to basically 9. Basically to 9. 8, I don't see at all as resistance. That's the bigger move. Beautiful. All these stocks are strong. SSRM, next one. Talking of strong, this one, I've mentioned this. This one here, look at this SSRM. So, you know, every time it's down here, it just looks really weak. And it goes up there, looks really strong. Here, higher low, right? Higher low. And more importantly, in my opinion, we've taken out the descending, the next horizontal, and the furthest horizontal. That is resistance. It's $6. We touched it. I trimmed here at 599 just to be a little. Was it 599, 598? I forgot. I trimmed the move to 6. It may have been lower actually. But this one looks so set. Now, obviously, we have gold and silver going up. We have the miners going up. This landslide news has been well digested. And, you know, I've been saying it a long time that this is going to eventually move to the double-digit test. This is what we're doing now. We've got all the reasons behind this. it'll probably coincide by total luck with some good news from the company, but we're gonna have a move up, and I'm just guessing here. I could be totally wrong. Some good news from the company, or just some average news, which is taken as positive. But I see a big move up coming. Every single star is aligned. I'm just wondering whether we should extend this, because we'll probably encounter this descending before we hit anything of horizontal significance. But I think a move to 8 is in the cards, and it should have happened long ago already, but I think we're getting there. So SSRM is probably the stock I'm looking at the most. Well, I'm looking at all of them, but this one I'm very bullish on right now. So unfortunately, I did trim it quite a lot. Like this move down, I was very heavy. I sold some into this, and then I sort of forgot, was it here where I started to say, okay, next time it goes up, I trim, which I did. And then the sector I think looked weak, and I think I sold, and then it went down. I was happy. I didn't buy back everything I saw. I bought little nibbles, went back up. In the end, I kind of reduced my position by about 30%, but made profitable swings, small ones. Obviously in the black the whole time. My average is like low fours. And here we are at 6. In the end, I just wish I'd never touched anything almost, but it is what it is. Looks good. SBSW. Now this one I usually ignore, but this one I bought after hours on, would it have been Wednesday? Yes. So after hours Wednesday, up it goes Thursday, continuation on Friday. I sold on Friday what I bought on after hours Wednesday for that 399 move, just so that I can buy back if it goes back down. But I do have the opinion that it's going to break out this descending, because palladium is doing a bit of a breakout. And if we zoom out, remember where we are. So we had a fake flush that took us all the way down. This is COVID lows. That's why I bought after hours. I realized, wait a minute, this is COVID lows. This is below COVID. Move back up very strong. This looks like a little drop and retrace, and it is. But this is like 30% move already. So continuation, next stop will probably be a test of kind of this area. But honestly, I don't care until we go back all the way up to here. Then I may trim. I've never trimmed since we've gone up here. It's so obviously resistance. This sort of $6 test range, the 590. But I did a little buy, sell, quick flip there in 2 days, which was nice. If it goes back down, I'll buy back again. I think we're absolute lows, and I think at the top of that, palladium is breaking out. Very quickly, Eldorado, let's just do it. Hasn't taken this out. Nice move back up. Resistance, the old high, the one after that. And then after that, okay, I guess 20 would be a level, no? No, it's not. Yeah, I think it's going to be around here. Interesting. 2150, 20 is not a level. I think I remember now. That's what I got for Eldorado. Kinross. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Not the best close, but okay. It did make new highs at least. Touch 10. That's clear resistance. Close just below 10. So 10 is still resistance. And then the next stop is going to be 10, sort of 30-ish. And then after that, my goodness me, we're going to have to reset these. Have to go back a lot. Unfortunately, can't fit everything. I would say it's this little peak up here, which is probably enough for next week. You're asking for quite the move otherwise. Yeah, plus we've got Fed week. So there you go. That'll be the top, if you can, achievable by next week. Next one, Goldfields, which came down. Of course, it's going to bounce on this ascending, but everything bounced. So actually, maybe I was talking about entering Goldfields. Yeah, 7%. I'm happy I didn't get in that. I would have expected a bigger bounce, but look, it's just had not bad news, but I think it's like acquisitions or something. But whatever it is, it's perceived as negative. So it's a weak bounce. I'm happy I'm not in that. I'd expect resistance already here. Remember, it's had a big move just like the GDX has. So if GDX is going to go back down, Goldfields will go back down too. It'd be very hard to get back up there. It's a bit like all those Fortuna EXKs that had bad news. To go up there, you need the whole sector and the underlying metal to do really well. And still, this would be one of your best candidates to sell into if you do hold something. So very hard to get there. But those are the three levels I see. 1480, 1560, and 1765, let's say. Next one, Novagold. That was the look at that perfect triangulation, the ascending and the descending retest, and it bounced off that quite well, didn't it? So the low all the way to the high, 20 something percent, pretty good. We've seen others do better, but still that's pretty good. That's your first resistance, the old high. Next one is going to be all the way up here. I don't see us taking that out. This I can delete. Harmony. Yeah, bounce on the horizontal after flushing the ascending. Then you got this, which is a yeah, $10. Okay, fair enough. Bit of resistance. You can see it closed off the highs after really testing it, after touching it, to be honest. So that really was a good one. Next one is going to be the old high. I think it's had bad news since, so to get up there, it needs a lot of power. And then after that, yeah, after that, definitely 13 sort of 40. I don't see that coming in. But we can might as well pencil that one in. Okay, next one is AngloGold, finally. Ah, look at that, the descending. See, this is like out of thin air, but no, there's a reason for it. It's this huge descending. Of course, that is a reason to be encountering resistance. If we take that out, close above it and continue, next stop is up here, 38.50, which is quite a way away. And I think it's just had some acquisition, actually, or some bad news. That's why it's all the way down there. It's a bit like Harmony, actually, just flushed all the way down to this very strong ascending support. So actually, yeah, that was a really good area to buy. Closed the high of day, fair enough. Next stop, you could say here, then the old highs. You could say there, then the old highs all the way up here, and then 38 point something. How much of a move is that? 1330. Yeah, we're not gonna bother putting anything above that. All right, that'll do. Obviously, incredible week. I'm just a little wary about how much more we can expect, even if it's bullish from the Fed, the build-up in anticipation to the Fed, the results after the Fed, even if it's all favorable to gold, we've had a massive move, and you've got to appreciate that there should be some exhaustion. But then again, when you zoom out, you realize they're just still massive buys, aren't there? All of these stocks, especially the ones I'm following, that are actually decent producers rather than some speculative explorers that really have no business going up because they don't even have any gold to mine. But anyway, we'll see. Maybe it's time for the explorers, developers to also move up. I'm not interested in them though. I think you can at least 2x your money still in these stocks, probably even more in some of them. So, all right, that'll do. Hope you liked the video.